Guys, welcome back. It's your girl Toya T, and this is my. I'm not even gonna do a recap, really. This is my review of Being Mary Jane, season 4, episode 11. Feeling raw. I don't know if I can continue to do this show. I watched good things that happened since the hiatus. Mary Jane finally moved out of that hotel. That was like $1,000 a night or whatever it was. Is now living in a very nice looking apartment. I wish they would have shown us the outside so we can kind of have an idea of where she lives, but I'm guessing she lives somewhere in Manhattan. Um, and I would think someplace close to the station, the news station. So maybe somewhere around, I don't know, Midtown Manhattan. But regardless, it looks really nice. We catch up with her and Lee. Forgetting his name. We get to with her and Lee, and she's still thinking about Justin and how they got down and dirty on the news anchor table, and she's starting to have second thoughts about Lee, and of course she's going into full on Mary Jane mode, which is messing everything up in her life. And I just could not understand what was going on, because it's not like Mary Jane has a problem cheating or cheating with people, but she definitely has a problem with being happy. And so she had no reason. I mean, yes, in the heat of the moment, you and Lee were having issues and you had sex with someone that you work with. Okay. Why did you have to tell him? Especially since this man was trying to give you everything. He was trying to give you a baby. You just turned 40. He met your family. He told you he loved you. He went through all your craziness. He told you what you wanted to hear on the first night that y'all were together. And it just made absolutely no sense. So she ends up telling Lee after he jumped on her new bed, which she still had in the plastic. Like, I don't know about y'all, but once I get something, I don't like to see things all packed up. It's not like she didn't have time to unpack it. Like, the bed was fully still in the plastic. All of the sheets and pillows and stuff were all in there. And I'm assuming that she had a personal shopper do this for her, but I don't understand why they wouldn't set it up for her. It's weird. Anyway, so he jumped on the bed and wanted to break it in, and she told him to get off, and he realized, like, oh, after she told him that she cheated, that she's saving the bed for Justin and for her to get down with him there, which made no sense. So anyway, she goes back to work, and things aren't going so well there. Ratings are down, which makes sense because they had a long time anchor that abruptly lost her job or was suspended and replaced her with this new fresh younger face. And so of course the ratings were down, like most real news shows, morning news shows. And so they're trying to figure how to get them out that slump, and they're trying different things. And Mary Jane can't stop thinking about Justin, and Justin somehow, is acting like he can't stop thinking about her. She tells Justin that she broke up with Lee for him, or just broke up with Lee, and he's like, "You don't have to do that. I still have a girlfriend." And he tried to play her, and which could have seen it coming because Michael Ealy is fine as hell as a person, and so his character is aggressive and a man's type of. I wouldn't say a man's type of man, but just the type of guy that is Mary Jane's type and my type too. The educated professional fuckboy, the one that knows that his shit doesn't smell to some women because he is 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20 out here in this world, that he's a hot commodity. And so she gets mad about it and decides that she's gonna play the field. So the branding team told her that she needs to maybe do some high profile dating since she's not married or has kids, because female viewers kind of connect with other women based off of if they would hang out with them, would they watch reality TV with them, and she doesn't have that factor yet because she doesn't have these things that people can relate to. So they decided to set her up on a date with this high-profile director, and the date went well. I thought this was going in the right direction. He was real cute. She invited him over to have dinner at her house. She was going to cook, and of course, Justin comes in way before, like an hour or two, maybe before she was supposed to have this dinner date at her new place with the director, and tells her that he broke up with his girlfriend and he wants her and he can't stand the idea of her being with someone else. Again, typical fuck boy behavior. Just like what Mary Jane likes, just what I like. But regardless of that, I mean, that was probably the best part. That was like towards the end of the show. That's the very, very end of the show. And I just could not, like, the beginning part of it just seemed senseless. In between that, well, let me just say why it seems senseless. Like, it's frustrating to have a character that seems like she hasn't grown. This is season 4, and she's still doing the same stuff that she was doing in season 1, and so it seemed like she was progressing, and then she stopped. And so I don't know if I can continue to watch this show because I feel like she's not going anywhere unless later in the season she starts going to a therapist and starts working out that stuff. I don't see like how this makes sense as like a strong black female character that people are supposed to be, like, people like me, young women like me, are supposed to be looking up to and relating to. I don't relate to Mary Jane. So anyway, on the other side we had Kara, and Kara's storyline is a lot more interesting. They show her, she's suing the news station for, I guess, unlawful termination or something. She just wants the rest of her money off her contract. And so she's has that, but in the meantime, she's just been playing girlfriend to Orlando, and it turns out that she's been, in kind of inducted into the WAGs, the wives and girlfriends of the baseball team that Orlando plays for, but they don't like her, and she doesn't like them because she's, educated professional, and they're all, thotting and bopping. I got lucky and I'm pretty and I got myself a baseball player. The chicks that you'd see on Basketball Wives. Or if there was a Baseball Wives anymore, Baseball Wives, like, or WAGs is a show. But, no one that has, like, any kind of substance are really vapid. And so the problem is that he's being ostracized because she's not fitting in with the WAGs. And so she decides to help him out, and she goes and fakes and puts on a face and gets really, like, vapid, like, oh my gosh, guys, let me take your selfie for you. Oh, but wait a second. Like, you gotta have the right light, and then you gotta push forward. And they're like, oh my gosh, you should be our official selfie taker. And she's like, of course, sure. But, she actually does end up liking one of the people there. So it works out for her on that end in terms of her relationship with Orlando, which we haven't seen how else it has been progressing. And I hope they spend more time showing that part of this relationship. But then when she goes into arbitration with the news station, they see her all dressed up in these, clothes from Barney's that Orlando bought her, and see her as someone who doesn't need the money that she's suing for because she came in this, very nice, baseball wife type. I watch games from the skybox type woman, and so that's an issue for her. The parents also come up too, and we see that apparently Mrs. Mary Jane's mom may have stepped out on the father a long time ago, and so because once the mother found out that Mary Jane and Lee broke up, of course she called Lee, got up in business, and he told her that your daughter stepped out on me, and she's thinking that maybe it's a thing that Mary Jane picked up from knowing or watching something that happened between the parents when she was really, really young. So we'll see how that turns out. I think that was way more interesting than the storyline with Mary Jane and her fucking up her life and trying to be boss, but she ain't boss. But then she still ended up sleeping with Justin, and she's like, we're not right for each other. And he's like, who wants to be normal? But anyway, it's just frustrating. It's just so frustrating as hell. And again, I'll give it one more look, but if not, then I'm just gonna have to cut it off. I can't wait till Sunday for Insecure to come back, and I will be covering that for the entire season because that actually has characters that show some kind of character progression and growth and development. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this recent episode of Being Mary Jane, the premiere of the summer season. Did you like it? Do you like where the story's going with Mary Jane? Do you want to see her with Justin? Do you think she should go crawling back to Lee? Would he take her back? Would you take her back if you were Lee? Anyway, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye.